What you are about to witness is probably the most discombobulated assembly of a bookshelf on record. Hi everyone, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel, or thanks for joining us if you're new here. Today I have put together kind of a vlog of I've moved home from school, I'm staying with family for the time being, and I got myself a new bookshelf because the ones I had were way too small. So I've been unhauling some books and putting all of that together, and I thought I would record that process without thinking about what the chaos of unpacking and moving into a new place is. So I think there's definitely going to be like some gaps that might not make sense, or I might say I'm doing something and then all of a sudden it's done, but bear with me, it's worth it. The final product looks really cool. You can kind of see it in the corner here, so stick around. It'll all come together in the end. All right, kiddos, so this is the bookshelf we got. We broke some of the things, so those need to come off, and the back's a little wonky, but the plan is to sand it, repaint it, get a new back, and get it all set up in my room. So it's very cold out today, so I've got a big chunky sweater on, and step one is to take the back off. Day two, here we go. So I got this all sanded yesterday. I just need to wipe all the sawdust off of it. Got a fresh piece of plywood for the back, and we've got some paint that I'm hoping is gonna match my desk. So here we go. Hello and welcome to day, I don't even know anymore, of trying to put this bookshelf together. So we did coat number 2 last night. The lighting in here is terrible. But yeah, okay, there we go. We can see that better. There's the extra shelves and the plywood that I bought to go on the back. Tonight, my brother's gonna help me cut up the plywood and put it all together, and then it will be ready to go into my room. In the meantime, I still got all these fucking books to go through, and I highly doubt that they're all gonna fit on my shelf, so stay tuned. Okay, I think I've got more questions than answers. One is I still cannot get over when I took, I think it was a class on the Romantics. I ordered these 2 books off of Amazon, my first failing. Like, just look at the font. Like, that's illegible. And then the font in this one is even smaller. Like, that's not, who even printed these? Like, none of that is like accessible for people to read. I don't understand what people were expecting when they printed this, so I'm not gonna keep those. But the other problem that I'm currently having is a lot of the books that I have that like I'm starting to get rid of were books that I had that kind of fit into that like YA 12 to 15, so I guess kind of like the middle grade genre age group. But I have a lot of books that are in the middle grade age group that are signed, and I don't know whether to keep them or not. Also, because I participated a lot in like book clubs and programs at the libraries, I ended up with signed copies of books before I read them, and then sometimes I didn't like the book. So I think I'm like a little bit torn of what to do with them. I have so many Kenneth Opel books that are signed, and there's books by him that I really like, but a lot of the ones that I have that signed aren't really the ones that I liked, so I'm guessing I'm getting rid of those. And then I also have a huge chunk of Eric Walters books that are signed. And I always really liked Eric Walters, but I feel like a little while ago I did a video on this channel where I was talking about author encounters, and the more that I think about the encounter that I had like meeting him, the more of like a sour taste that's left in my mouth. So I don't know, like I liked the books, but I don't know if there's something that I'm gonna like go back constantly and read, and I also don't think like my connection to the author is as strong as it was to hold on to them. So it feels weird throwing out books that are signed, especially like ones that are signed with my name, but like also I'm like, should they be taking up space on my shelf? Has anyone else like ran into this dilemma when unhauling? It's weird. Like I don't know what to do with it. But I think I've made everything so much of a disaster that I no longer know where anything is anymore. So I'm thinking I'm gonna start trying to like group shit together by like how I'm probably gonna want to put it on my shelves. So like all my poetry stuff will go together, all the graphic novel stuff will go together, and like trying to reframe how some of these things fit together. I'm also trying to figure out, like, I ended up with the Harry Potter books that my family has. I'm not actually a fan of the books. I found my way into the universe more through like fandom and fan theory. And, you know, was JKR being JKR. It's like, do I really want those on my shelf? I never really liked the writing to begin with, so we'll see. I don't know where those are going to end up, but those probably won't be on the tippy top of my list to fit back on my shelf if everything isn't going to fit. So, yep, some more sorting. I think some other great finds were Your Personal Penguin, which I think I got this book at Costco after my teacher played this song at an assembly when I was in elementary school. You should look it up. It's sung by Davy Jones of the Monkees. It is incredible. I have decided that, you know, my family was talking yesterday about what is a personal penguin. And I've decided that's what I want to be. I will be somebody's personal penguin. I will just follow them around and be their friend. Can I get paid for that? Will that let me rent a house? Who knows? I think I already put it away, but it's like a cookbook for girls that I think somebody got me, which like, what does that mean? I hate when people gender things that like are gendered. Like, what does it mean that this is a cookbook specifically for girls? Of course, they all kind of look like tea party type, like feminine frilly treats, I think is what they were trying to do, but it's just stupid. I don't even know why I still had it. Especially too because I'm pretty picky, so like a lot of the recipe books that I have, I won't even make half of the stuff in it, or I have to substitute everything. I also have this book that I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep because my grandmother, who's passed away, got it for me. But the thing that like frustrates me about it endlessly is the spine is backwards. So if I like hold up another book next to it, right? Like every spine goes this way. Like that is a standard thing in publishing that the spines go this way and you read them from the top down. This book, the spine goes this way, which is not... It frustrates me endlessly. I don't know if it was like it wasn't a printing error because like everything else is fine. It's something went wrong at the publisher. What else? Yeah, I think so. Sorting, and then I have a shit ton of Stephen King books, and I got a lot of them from used book sales, but I also have a bunch of them that belong to my aunt that I borrowed from her, and I'm no longer sure which ones are mine and which ones are hers. So I'm gonna go through and separate all the ones that I know are mine, and then I'm gonna go back and figure out which ones are hers, or send her a list and be like, can you check these against your collection and figure out which ones I'm missing, because I don't even know anymore. All right, here we go. Hello and welcome again to... I also don't know what day it is since I started filming this. I realized yesterday that I was like filming all these time lapses with no like discussion of what I was doing, and that's because I was like borderline at having a breakdown because I just want my room to be back to normal and everything's a disaster. And I painted this shelf, which we all know if you watched the rest of the video, but it was supposed to match this dresser. And this is a dark brown, and this is like freaking orange. I give up. I don't know what to do anymore. Also, like, don't mind the mess, but this is what happens when you are unpacking and redoing a room at the same time. But I figured I would walk through where we're at with the bookshelf and organizing things, and then dive into hopefully getting everything done today. Fingers crossed. Okay, if we start with the shelf, this is mostly, honestly, just hardcovers because they fit perfectly with the size of this shelf. The next shelf, big books that didn't fit on the shelf above. I don't know how I feel about this like Ed Sheeran book next to the Winnie the Pooh. and The Princess Bride, but the shelf has these like stupid things in the front, so there's gonna be a couple books that are hidden. And then I think the shelf is gonna end with all of my poetry books. So yep, this guy's got nothing on it yet. And then down here we have the Dear Evan Hansen book shoved in here because it doesn't fit on any other shelf. But then this is all of my graphic novels, comics, all of that fun jazz. And then over here, just a collection of other books. I'm wondering about moving some of these taller ones to go up on the shelf where The Princess Bride and the Winnie the Pooh was. I haven't quite decided yet, because it does always bother me when like the heights don't line up, but also like I don't want to mix books that aren't graphic novels with my graphic novels. And then our last shelf down here currently is all of the classics that I have. And then we have a little bit of extra room at the end that I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with yet. I think I discovered that I own a lot less books than I thought I did. I don't think I realized how small the other shelves that I had were. I was talking to a friend like before I came home. Enjoy the koala stuffy, just chilling in the background. And I said that I thought I had like 500 books. And I honestly might count them just out of pure curiosity. But I realized like a lot of booktubers have probably like 3 shelves this size, like maybe more of them all along a wall. And I don't think I like fully realized how many books that is, because I think I'm gonna have some books that won't fit on the shelf, but not a lot. So to have like 3 full shelves of books is like a dream, but also like, damn. Can you imagine moving that every time you move out? That would be a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling and get to work. So let me find a place to set this up for the time lapse, and then here we go. All right, now that it has books on it, it's time to put all the little knickknacks on it and make it look pretty. Alright, so here's where we're at with decor. I have all like my little knickknacks on, which I will go through when I do a full tour at the end. And I'm just trying to decide all this kind of stuff that I had on my walls in the background. I'm thinking of putting some of it on here, but I'm thinking that the ones that aren't square are working better. I also have some that I was putting kind of underneath the books that they pertain to. So this is, I want whatever that cartoon Dragon Boy and Malnourished Dracula have, and it's underneath the Simon Snow series. But I'm not quite sure if I like the look of them on the shelf, so we'll see. But I did cut out all these little Heartstopper leaves for this corner, which I really love, which gave me the idea to pull some stuff from other webcomics that I love. So that's the next step, is to get that all cut out and put on here. So I think this top corner, I'm gonna do all of the flowers from the Finding Home series. All right, here we go, snippy snip time. All right, it is currently 2 in the morning. As you can see, I have just finished putting on all of my little decorations. I just had the stuff on top, the stuff to kind of tidy up, and then I will give you a full tour of all the little art and the shelves themselves. So stay tuned. I always say that, it's all in one video. Keep watching, I guess that's what I mean. I'm gonna go to bed. All right, kiddos, we did it. Shit's on top now. So it's time for the final tour. All right, watch me fall off the steps still while filming this. So this is everything I have on top. Book set. This is a monkey that my great-great-grandfather brought back from the First World War. It's like a family heirloom. More dead flowers, dead flowers. There's dead flowers over here. I think it goes with the dark academia vibe I'm trying to give off. Anne of Green Gables, I thought it was fitting that I put that book collection up there, even though I've never read any of them. This plant that I'm hoping gets enough sun up here. And Mason Deaver's little autograph book plate that I have. This birdhouse that looks a lot prettier than the assembly is, because I am not a carpenter. This Connor cast that was from my Evan Hansen Halloween costume, and then this snow globe that I have. So then down from here is the start of my little decor, and pretty much kind of what I was thinking with this is, because I don't have physical copies of a lot of webcomics I love, really wanted to kind of pay homage to them a little bit. So this is our Heartstopper corner here. We have Charlie, and then the leaves come up and around, and Nick is in the corner here. Across the top I have a collection of Tumblr posts. Some of them are book related, some of them are not. So these two have to do with Carry On. This is just Mark My Words. Mark brings me my dictionary, thank you. One about haunting. There's two here about poetry. One about reverting back to your embarrassing hobbies. A little ace joke, the moon and the stars, because of course. Come on, brain, yip yip, which is Avatar. This one says, okay, I'll bite, just starts fucking biting you. This is, I was always born for this. Lister says it's really muggy out. Rowan says if I go outside and all our mugs are on the front lawn, I'm gonna kill you. And Lister's sipping coffee from a bowl. Excellent characterization. So that's what we have along this side. And then over here, I have all of the flowers from the Finding Home series and this little sketch of Yannick and Cheppy cuddling. I'm gonna get my books coming in for that soon, which I am super excited about. So from there, we can go on to the first shelf. I have this little Nightmare Before Christmas mug that I made with bookmarks in it, and this cat that I got from somewhere. So this is all my Stephen King hardcovers, any other kind of hardcovers I have around that size. The two Selznick books I have. I don't have Hugo Cabret, but I should get it so that the eyes all match. Lunar Chronicle series, Simon Snow series with my Baz. My Simon is in pretty rough shape, so I might need to make a new one to go alongside him. And then just kind of some queer hardcovers that I have with some other little decor things. So we go down from there. What do we got on the outside of this shelf? Post about character tropes, and this quote, which is from On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, and then this kind of realism drawing of Winnie the Pooh, which works because my copy of Winnie the Pooh is right here, which is why I have this Pooh stuffed animal. Again, some little knickknacks. This shelf is like tall-ish books. There's not really a rhyme or a reason to most of this, but the second half here, starting from the Shane Khoizam book, is all my poetry books with some zines that I have as well. That is bookmarked on this side by a little poetry thing. This drawing by Kid Nova of Simon and Baz, which kind of works because those books are up there. Brooklyn Nine-Nine quote. And then some more Tumblr posts about reading. We also have these little friends, Alex and John, and they are from It's Kind of a Funny Story, which is a wonderful webcomic that I love. This leads into a little note about the fact that you've once made a dog happy by wagging its tail, and this post, which is from Perks Being Wallflower Movie. And then this little drawing by, I believe it's Hot Drinks on Tumblr, of Jonathan Sims and Martin Blackwood from the Magnus Archives. So that takes us over to our next shelf. Got some dinosaur, this snow globe that I don't understand how, but is losing water. And this shelf is mostly just like a collection of paperbacks. It has my Alice Oseman collection on it, of course. I love looking at the books all together. They look so pretty. And then, yeah, just a whole bunch of other paperbacks. And we got the Albert Einstein here from Night at the Museum.
That's your combination, kid. 3.1415926.
He's wonderful. I appreciate him a lot. Chip from the live action Beauty and the Beast. This is a mandrake, which I think will scream if I pull it out. I don't know if I can do that one-handed. Yep. And then a little triceratops skeleton and a tooth that I picked up somewhere. I don't know where. It's a little ominous. Some more little book posts. A good dad joke. This I got from Warner Brothers Studios in London because they were doing the Goblet of Fire thing when I was there. So like, screw JK Rowling, but I had to put it up. We'll get into that conversation in another video. These characters are from Spring Brewer's comic It Strikes a Chord, which is going to be moving to Webtoons Originals. And I do just want to appreciate that I think they are the cutest cats that I've ever seen. And Charlie, I believe it is, owns a bookstore that is called the Honey Pot after Winnie the Pooh, and that is my life's goal now. We have a quote from Kevin Feige. I think it's from a TED Talk he did. This Lilo and Stitch MCU crossover, and a note about writing novels and that you can't become best friends with your favorite actors if you don't write the novels. Then we come to probably my favorite shelf, I think, which is the Dear Evan Hansen books just in here because it doesn't fit anywhere else, but then the rest of this is all my graphic novels. We've got C-3PO and R2-D2, as well as this little angel guy just chilling in here. When I painted this dog, I painted it cross-eyed, so he has a little fly on his nose, but yep. These are all of my graphic novels up to about here, and I am going to need to be doing some rejigging of the shelf once my Finding Home comics come in. After that, this is just kind of a collection of whatever books that I had to fill out the rest of the shelf. I was trying to make it so the height difference isn't too big there. We got another dog on this side with some little Christmas snow globes. And then on the edge of this shelf, we have a little Nick and Charlie post. This is Winter and Nat, which is from the webcomic Two Losers from Earth. I think that's what it's called, which is an incredible webcomic as well. This little joke about therapy dogs, post about kindness, another post about being a guide, this really cool art piece that I found on Tumblr, and then a joke about chivalry and a joke about mental breakdowns. So that sums me up pretty good. We have this little monster piggy bank I have, and this little Lego set. Can't really see the other one very well. And then this shelf is some extra books that I just tucked into the corner here, but it is entirely classics. And I made that decision based off what I consider a classic, as well as what the world considers a classic. So yeah, I've read most of these, but I still have quite a few to get through. Again, some more ceramics and little pottery things on this side. And then if we finish with what's on this shelf, we see another post about kindness. This is an optimistic nihilism post. This adorable cow, and a quote about Hamlet screaming instead of doing soliloquies, and then this lovely little comic of Penguin trying to put pants on. So I realized I didn't turn on the fairy lights, so to give you the full vibe, I'll just kind of sweep my way down here. Yeah, so this is the full shelf. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Let me know your thoughts and what you think about it. Yeah, so that's my new bookshelf. That's what it looks like. If you have questions about any of the things on the side, I thought it would take me forever to read them all, so I wasn't going to do that, or a particular shelf or books on it that you want to ask about or want me to do like a more in-depth tour where maybe I do read through everything. Just let me know. Until then, Webcomic Wednesday should be, fingers crossed, starting up again next week. Other than that, if you want to follow what I'm doing, my art Instagram and my Storygraph is linked down below. And make sure you subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when the next video comes out, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That's everything from me, so until the next video, stay kind.